Welcome to your fantasy football recap. I'm your host, Krim Barflow. Feels like we have finally returned from upside down, backwards town, and things are as they should be. This week's bye, surprisingly, did not come from Charlie Burgers. Instead, it was from our resident slacker, that perpetual underachiever, Logan. With only 4 of his 9 starters putting up double-digit efforts, Run-a-Chan on her finished the week with an abysmal 83 points. Meanwhile, his adversary Alex finished with his best score of the young season, as well as the highest point total of the week, following a trade that sent wide receiver Jerry Jeudy to Chris in exchange for quarterback Jackson Dart. I Dream of Rain, Ayo Manor showed off the power of their superior manager Alex, destroying Logan by a final score of 153 to 83. In what was supposed to be an easy win for Chuck, instead we witnessed the surge of absent owner Charlie Burgers. If not for some late-night heroics from wide receiver Garrett Wilson, Houday and the Blowfish were on the verge of the biggest upset in league history. In the end, Chuck was able to escape defeat by a final tally of 120 to 111. We caught up with Chuck after the matchup for his thoughts on the game.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but nothing is in this league. Just when you think you can take your foot off the gas, a team like Osama bin Laden comes out and punches you in your gut. And then you find out what you're really made of. Happy to come away with a victory this week. We just got to reevaluate ourselves and get ready for next week.
Our third bout saw the Sucks taking on Now Here I Want a Guy. It was one of Grant's strongest showings, on the backs of Josh Allen and James Cook, as well as the emergence of Omarion Hampton and the rare DK Metcalf sighting. Grant only trailed Alex in scoring this week, cruising past John by a final score of 153 to 106. Now, for Game 1 of the week, let's check in with Bill Belichick.
Thanks, Krim. And what could have been a tough matchup for Mutant and Jigba Turtles? Instead, we watched Too Legit, Tula Quit. Only quarterbacks Dak Prescott and Drake May decided to show up for Mike this week. Meanwhile, Brian had no issues handing Mike yet another loss on the season, despite losing wide receiver Tyreek Hill for the year. In the end, it was Mutant and Jigba Turtles on top by a final score of 128 to 109. Back to you, Krim.
Thanks, Bill. Now, for Game 2 of the week. You know him. You love him. It's Pax Interference with the call. Pax?
Thanks, Krim. It looks like Chris has finally learned from years past. Not spending $100 on tight ends. Instead, invest in positions that can actually make a difference. It was Josh Jacobs and Bijan Robinson carrying the load for Aaron's fuck-ups as he defeats usual league juggernaut Derek by a final score of 136 to 121. After the game, I was able to catch up with the Critical Hits manager Derek to follow up on his highly controversial decision to start Jaylen Warren, despite him not dressing for the clash.
Derek, what motivated you to start Jaylen Warren in such an important matchup?
Talk to me in 4 miles. I have more important things to do.
Can't run from your sexuality, Derek. Back to you, Krim.
Thanks for going the extra mile, Pax. And now, a look to next week's matchups. Which brother will best the other when Chuck and Alex face off? Can Mid-Carter Logan channel his inner Hulk Hogan as he faces Brian? Which loser will be hysteric when Mike faces Derek? Can Grant's squad rise to upset Chris during his buys? And which team of skank can shake off their stank when John faces off against the surprisingly not irrelevant Charlie Burgers? All this and more next week. As always, Best of luck, competitors. God, this league sucks. Champions barely escaping draft chaff. League runner-ups ranking only barely above the aforementioned draft chaff. Managers that would rather be running than competing for such an illustrious title belt. I tell you, it's... Oh, is this thing still on?